You're watching the Autos 360 Network.
Hey everyone, I'm Rick Walker. Welcome to SST Live. Tonight, we take a look at the new ACURA Integra, which was revealed this week, at least a prototype was. The Integra is coming back, and joining us live in just a moment, Ryan, who will share his first impressions of the ACURA Integra prototype. Hey everyone, again, I'm Rick Walker, and this is SST Live. And joining us tonight, Ryan, our co-host, who is here to talk to us from his pixelated universe. Kind of apologize for the low resolution of the camera, but it kind of makes you look artistic, I think, an artist's pixelated rendering of your beautiful face. Tonight, we're here to talk about the new ACURA Integra. A prototype was revealed this week, and we have a video to show you of the car. But first, I just want your first initial reaction, Ryan. What do you think of the new Integra?
It sucks. Really bad.
Okay. I know that the reaction online has not been that favorable. I think it's the design, right? It's the style.
It's a rebadged Civic hatchback. That's all it is. Based off all the renderings and stuff that were kind of put out originally, where they were showing it as like as a two-door hatchback versus a five-door hatch that it is now or whatever. That was more like what an Integra used to be. Same with like the RSX and everything. It's always been like a two-door hatch. They were available as a sedan, but no one ever really bought them that way. So to see it come out as just a rebadged Civic hatch is very disappointing.
Okay, well, I mean, you and I are both big Honda fans. Let's just get that right out of the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Acura fans, Honda, Acura.
Mm-hmm.
So we like Honda products. We like Acura products, quality automobiles. It's the style. That's what people are having the issue with here. You're not the only one. I mean, it's all over the internet.
There's a lot of stuff that is kind of, well, so much of it was expected and whatnot. Like it's, it's just the 1.5 liter with the 6-speed. It's the same engine and transmission that would come in like a Civic Si. I'm assuming essentially, because the gear ratios and stuff are typically different between like a, more base model Civic versus an Si or something like that. So it's too much like a regular Honda Civic. You're really just buying it to have a separate look, essentially. That's all that's different. Whereas before, if you were to compare like the original Integras, like at 95 range to like a Civic hatch back of the era, it's a different car. They look different. They're a similar chassis, but it's its own car, not just a rebrand.
Okay, well, the people at Acura have a different take on this. We have a video to share with you now from Acura featuring Jon Ikeda and Jonathan Rivers, two executives from Acura who were involved in the unveiling of the Acura Integra prototype this week.
Hi. Welcome to the introduction of the Integra prototype. My name is Jon Ikeda. I'm the Acura brand officer, and who we have here is Jonathan Rivers with American Honda Product Planning. He is the guy that is, I consider you the godfather of the Integra on this round because you were very much involved with the development of this vehicle. So I think you are the absolute perfect person to give everyone a quick walk around of this amazing car you worked on. All right, John?
Thanks a lot.
Let's do that.
All right, appreciate it. we're here at the global debut of the ACURA Integra prototype. This is such an important model for the ACURA brand, as we're leveraging our heritage of the Integra name, but also creating a new gateway for a next generation of ACURA customers. I'm just going to point out some of the great design elements for you of this prototype vehicle. I think the first thing you'll notice is the striking paint, Indy Yellow Pearl, taken from our NSX supercar. You'll also notice a very aggressive front fascia, which for me is one of my favorite cues with having the name Integra embossed in both the front and rear fascias. You'll see our signature chicane LED daytime running lamps, a very aggressive wheel package, 19-inch in size, these amazing Brembo calipers, also painted in that same yellow as the body itself. But it's the great black accents that you'll notice on the roof, the door mirror caps, even on the rear decklet spoiler that really give it a sporty and purposeful design. Clearly you'll see the Integra graphics along the bottom of the vehicle. And as we make it towards the rear, maybe my favorite view of the car, you'll notice this sloping roof that lends to the 5-door liftback design. So this vehicle is not only sporty and purposeful, but it actually has the versatility that this next generation of ACURA customers are going to want. Lastly, we'll take a look around the back with a single piece LED chicane tail light design and this amazing rear diffuser and blacked out exhaust tips. We're here today with the global debut. This vehicle will go on sale next year, starting at around $30,000. Now, as we get closer to the launch, we'll have a lot more details to share, but this is the first look of the ACURA Integra prototype.
Okay, so there it is. Some people are calling it a hot hatch, but it's really, to me, more of a lift back.
Yeah, it looks more like a cross tour than it looks like a hatchback. The new design that Honda put out for the new Civic hatch, and then now this as well, I'm not a huge fan of. It doesn't look like a hatchback. You know, it looks more like a liftback wagon almost. The previous generation, like with your Type R and whatnot, those were still very much, it was a hatchback. The door was very vertical on it and opened up like a hatch typically would, whereas this is just, it's not the same, and it doesn't really fit in with what I prefer in a car like that.
So what I understand is, I mean, the Integra has not been around now for about, what, a decade, approximately?
Yeah, long time.
So the designers apparently wanted to create a car that didn't look retro. They were trying to create something that looked like a car that would have evolved, what it would have evolved into had the Integra not been discontinued. And so this is what they came up with. I've never honestly been a big fan of the Integra style, even the old ones. Mm-hmm. I always preferred the Civics and the Hondas to the look of the Integra. I never liked the headlights on them myself. I never liked that look. What do you think?
I really like these cars myself. Like that one being a Type R and everything. It was a really big stepping point for Honda when these cars came out. And I believe it was one of the first ACURA Honda products that ever came to Canada and the US as a Type R. So to me, it's a pinpoint in Honda history, that type of car. And the headlights are an acquired taste, having the circles on it and whatnot. A lot of people switch it over to the Japanese front end, which is more of a square style headlight, which reminisces back to more the previous generation of Integra. So I prefer this much more than I do the new one. I think there's a large gap in the market for two-door vehicles. They may not sell the best in comparison to your four doors and whatnot, but I think that they're just not marketing them at the right demographic. From my previous experience working at Honda dealerships and whatnot, they've always pushed the two doors as like an economy type of thing, not as a sports car. So the Integra really has had its name as a sports car to most people like me. So to have a two-door version of it would make the absolute most sense to me. But you won't see that out of most car companies anymore, unless they're building something like a 370Z or a Camaro or something like that.
Mm. So do you see many design similarities at all between the old one and the old ones and this new one?
Little bits of it, yeah, like having the Integra put onto the front and rear bumpers. That's an original thing that they did on the older on the previous generation of it. Obviously, the tail lights look a lot like what the original RSX was, which in Japan was called the Integra. So essentially, what this is the next generation of what an RSX essentially should have been, which again was never a sedan. It was only a two-door hatchback.
Well, the older Integras, I mean, they really were based on the Civic as well, right? So
yeah, it's the exact same chassis. It just it looks wise. They actually changed it so that they didn't look like the exact same car rolling down the road with different headlights and taillights. Back when they cared.
So why do you think that they've missed the mark on this? Have they not read the market properly? Are they not understanding who their customers are? Do they not? Because I think what it comes down to is they want something sportier, right?
Yeah, it's like I think that everybody's too tied up in the game of having a more futuristic looking car, SUVs, things like that. There's not very much attention brought towards the more two-door fun zippy cars would be the best way I could kind of put it. Like you have a Golf R, but it's the four-door. You have a Civic Type R, but it's a four-door. Most cars nowadays are going to a four-door. Even the Mustang, you can get a Mustang Mach-E now that's an SUV instead of it being a two-door muscle car. There's too much of that going on in the industry, like with the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Used to be a really cool and interesting car, and then it got turned into an SUV. So Integra has become another casualty of something that could have been turned into something that's boring, not what everybody kind of expected and wanted, and something that's I was originally thinking about purchasing when I saw all of the renderings and spy shots of previous vehicles and whatnot. But now at this type of point, it's not something that I would even have much interest in purchasing.
Okay, well, what do you like about the car? Anything? Because I mean, first of all, it's an Acura, so it's going to be quality. It's probably going to be reliable. It's going to have that same drivetrain out of the Civic Si. So you have 200 horsepower there in a small car, which is plenty of juice. And they're going to tune it so it puts out a little bit more power than the Civic Si. So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, partially. It's weird because Civic like the Honda doesn't offer an SI in a hatchback, so you're filling in that type of market. Now having an SI or a sport version of a hatchback without having to go all the way up to the Type R. I obviously assume that based off of what I've read and everything, Acura patenting the name, Integra Type R and whatnot already, will have another version come out with the same 2-liter that's in the Type R now. It'll probably be released around the same time as the new Type R as well. But it's just like I said, it's too much of a. There's not enough differences between the cars for me to really enjoy it. It's too much of just it's too lazy. The car deserves so much more than just headlights and taillights and Integra embossments on the bumpers,
And you'll get upgrades inside. I think you get leather options, right? You get because it's an Acura, you'll have a few more creature comforts available as options. Like
to an extent, more than likely it'll stick more towards you could going and buying like a sport touring Honda Civic hatchback. More than likely will be similar, if not the exact same on the inside. You'll deal with just maybe you'll see some more wood inside of a newer Integra versus a Civic. but you won't see too much crazy stuff. You won't see a different dashboard in the car. You won't see a different center console or anything like that. More than likely, it'll be pretty much exactly the same.
Okay. And I guess the old ones are still popular, sought after, almost becoming collectible at this point. I think we're having a little trouble with your internet there. Hopefully you're still with us. But
Yeah, sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Yeah, the old ones, they're sought after now.
Yeah, they're a high demand car. A lot of people want them for the modification, and even into the point now, Hondas are getting to the point where people are buying them just to restore them to complete factory spec. You're seeing that more of some of the older cars like CRXs and things like that. But things like Integras, it's within the same chassis range as like a 95 Honda Civic or an EG hatchback, just like the one that I just got rid of.
Yeah. So who do you think the customers are for this car? Who do you think is going to want to buy it, Ryan? Yeah, we're losing you. So I think, the younger demographic, younger people probably are the ones that are more likely to want to purchase this vehicle. There's been a lot of negative comments about the design, the style online ever since the thing has popped up during the reveal this week. And a lot of negative comments about that front end. But personally, I like that front end a lot better than I like the old ones. I never liked those round headlights on the original Integras. That one doesn't look too bad. This one I don't like. It just, with the wing and stuff on the back, it looks a little bit better. But I never really liked those round headlights. Nice cars, very reliable. Big fan of Hondas. And with the 1.5 liter Turbo 4, it's going to pack some punch. But who do you think the customers are for this vehicle, Ryan?
Somebody who wants a nicer version of a Civic. That's pretty much what I feel a lot of it's going to be. You'll have your buyers who are, have been waiting for the Integra to come out, and that's what they want. And they'll buy it just strictly due to the name. But I feel that it's mainly going to be people who want it just for the Acura badge rather than a Honda.
Okay. And I guess that's really it in a nutshell. It's going to go into production, I think, at their Marysville production facility sometime next year in 2022. It's a 2023 model, and apparently it's going to sell for about starting price around $30,000, and I think that's in US dollars. So it's an attainable car, probably a little bit more expensive than a Civic.
Yeah, it's
and again, that hatchback design isn't really a hatchback. It's more
I've
of a
seen
liftback.
previously with buying a top model Civic will probably be the same price as buying a base model Integra.
Right. So do you think they have any time to address any of these concerns from the enthusiasts and Honda lovers and Acura lovers who would like to see some design changes?
Yeah, 100%. It wouldn't be the first time that Honda's had to do that. With the 9th gen Civics, when those came out, they only had this body style in 2012. They only made it for a year. So when you buy a 2012 Civic, they only made it look like that for a year. Then they immediately did a facelift and the rear end got completely changed. So it wouldn't be the first time they've done some sort of change right after or right before. So being a prototype, I feel that they do have some opportunity to change things to make it a little more appealing, make it a little more different. Whether they'll do that or not, who knows? And at the end of the day, who knows what they really have hiding, because there's been a lot of spy shots of two doors of this vehicle going around and whatnot. And it may just be something that they're leaving till the end. And that's what personally, like, all I could really hope for is, because to me, that's what I want. I'd want it to be a 2-door hatch. I don't want it to be a 4-door liftback wagon thing that's just another Civic.
Okay. Well, we will have to wait and see what happens and see if any changes are made before it goes into production. But I think that they're kind of stuck with what they have at this point. They pretty much have to put that car that we've been looking at onto the assembly line at this point. I can't see them making radical changes in time for that 2023 model. I think what you see is what you get at this point.
Yeah. More likely, if they do make changes, it'll be afterwards. It'll be another possibility of a 1-year type of car, just like the 9th gen Civics when those came out.
Okay, well, we will wait and see what happens. Regardless, though, still going to be a reliable car, I think. Probably very reliable, high quality. It's a Honda / Acura, and that's what they're known for. So it's going to appeal to a certain group of buyers. And I'm still a big Acura fan, still a huge Honda fan. I think people have been a little harsh on it. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's still an okay car. I think it's all right. It's just not what some people were hoping for, because they were looking for something more performance oriented, I think, in the design style. And this is maybe a little too conservative, but it doesn't make it a bad car.
Yeah, no, it'll still be a good car, but if you want something in the performance range of a vehicle, there's much better options in Acura's lineup. Like you can get a TLX Type S. That'll be a much more fun vehicle in comparison to this. It's your standard 4-door sedan, but you'll have the bigger V6 engine in it. It's all-wheel drive. It's just overall a much more exhilarating vehicle versus a 1.5 hatchback, because driving those cars, like in my experience, it's like they've been sort of underwhelming.
Yeah, to me, this looks like a fairly conservative vehicle, something that a family might buy if you want to get to the supermarket fast. Right? Really fast.
Yeah, it's a family car. It's a regular car. That's what it is. At the end of the day, the original Integra, that's what it was too. It was an economy, family drive around car. It wasn't really a sports car.
Yeah.
Unless you got a Type R, but they still handled like a sports car and stuff. So that's all you can hope for, is that it's still going to be as
well. If it's anything like the SI, it should be responsive. It should handle well. And again, high quality, good warranty. It's coming from Honda Acura. So you're going to get value for your money. And I guess we'll leave it at that for tonight, especially because your internet is not really cooperating that well. So I just want to say thanks again, Ryan, for joining us tonight here on SST Live. And until next time, I am Rick Walker reminding you, when you can't get to the car show, folks, we will bring the car show to you at SSTcarshow.com and also online at OttawaAutoShow.com, which is part of the Autos 360 Network and the virtual auto show presented by the Ottawa Gatineau International Auto Show. I'm Rick Walker, signing off. Until next time, catch you on the flip side.